now. Hello everyone and welcome back to Donut Like, Donut Read. My name is Clemens, with me today is Joaquin
What's up?
and John
Greetings, normies.
and special guest Bob.
Hey kids, how's it going?
Yeah, and Luna is gonna be here in a sec, but to
Life is
recap,
crazy.
last time Miss Dumpf New Age bullshit finally caught up with her and she was dismissed from the volleyball team and old Beanpole took over and they
Hell
went
yeah.
they went and they won some more.
They got sick of winning.
Yeah.
And
At the very end of the last chapter, we're starting on chapter 19, right? Yeah. Very end of the last chapter, it says, they got off the bus chanting, "We want the gold, we want the gold. Tomorrow we would find out. We'd see just how much they wanted the gold." And that
sounds so
feels like
sinister.
a threat. Like, what? What is he doing?
It's like
That is
kinda
so
weird.
sinister,
he's got some weird Hunger Games kind of scenarios planned out just for this event.
Oh yes, and Kim betrayed Bean too, so maybe more.
Women. Ugh.
I don't remember that part.
It's
Well,
because
obviously, I wasn't
it's because-
there for the.
It's because her plan is, they're humiliating the guy I like, so I'm going to put vodka in the lemonade. 'Cause you
Yeah,
can't taste-
funnily enough, like a female, somewhat maybe sort of love interest betraying Bean is actually a pretty common thing in Dick Bohrer books.
Wait, seriously?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds stupid.
Oh yeah, no, it happens. It happened in this book. It happened in Night Watcher. It happens in I think Basketball Hawk also happens.
I mean, there's an homage to Eve, and there's just having a woman betray you every single book.
Yeah, no, it's a thing for him. He's was a thing. Rest in peace.
Luna,
Oh,
what's
hey,
up?
Luna, how you doing?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Welcome to the stream.
I didn't put my microphone where I should have, so it ended up being a little bit longer than the 3 minutes. I promise. Sorry.
No,
it's
welcome
fine.
to the stream, Luna. We're
Yeah,
we're live, by the way.
Yeah, I'm late, so I figured you were.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I in the dormitory I'm in, it's sort of encouraged to like be quiet after 10 p.m. and I realized that if I didn't put together dinner before the stream, that when the stream ended,
Did
I
you say
wouldn't have
10
dinner.
p.m.?
Yeah, it's quiet. It's
Oh yeah,
I'm in
yeah. She's over in
yeah, I'm in the Czech Republic, and it's kind of
Really? I had no idea. Oh, that's okay.
It's sort of encouraged to like be quiet after between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m.
Yeah, that's normally the sleeping time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Doesn't stop construction workers from starting right at 6 a.m. on the dot. So
Yeah, speaking of sleeping time, we have to get some of usual. We went there and played and we won, but there will be good stuff afterwards. But we have to get through it first. So
Okay.
I read what I missed, and I honestly I understand. Was it Matt who talked about how he would give stories credit and then he would regret it instantly?
No, that was me.
Yeah, that was you. That's how I
Ironic.
felt.
It's
That's
so
how-
annoying. You're like,
that's how
oh, you did something right, and then immediately.
That's how I felt reading what I missed, because like I thought he was going somewhere, but it seemed that he remembered that he was writing he was in the 90s writing Christian literature targeted towards children, and that no one would care what he did because they weren't going to be buying their kids any other book because it was secular media.
Yeah.
So
it's like, he clearly doesn't have two brain cells. He has more than two brain cells, but he's writing for an audience that has two brain cells.
no, he has two brain cells, and one of them's a really, really good writer, and one of them really isn't.
Yeah.
no, he has 3. Count them 3 brain cells.
Yeah, the Holy Trinity.
The father brain cell, the son brain
Father.
cell.
Yeah, the Holy.
Which one's the good writer? Which one's the good writer, do you think?
Probably the Holy Ghost. That'd be my guess.
Lord have mercy.
Reminder.
At my brother's wedding, they kept speaking of 3s. At my brother's wedding, for instance, like it was like just a huge like church service, and they just kept chanting the same thing 3 times over because 3 is important.
Oh man.
Yeah, it would make sense that the Holy Ghost is the ghost writer.
That's
yeah,
true. That's
the Holy
true.
Ghost Rider. That's great.
That's got to be. Hold on. That's got to be something. Hold on.
Does that make this inspired by God?
Of course, yeah.
Inspired text? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Big Bohrer Almighty, the prophet
Matthew,
from
Mark, Luke, John, Dick.
Well, he did get sort of like a divine inspiration, but he decided to keep it to himself and just write children's literature instead.
Yeah, he got flooded with the Holy Spirit and then separately wrote this. Unrelated.
Okay. I think
Chapter-
we've
Alright,
been around long
move
enough.
on.
All right, yeah, let's go.
Chapter
Yeah.
19, almost. The gym was packed and noisy. All Sunny Hills was there. Buses and cars had snaked across the countryside in a long, long stream. Danny
What?
Poole told me.
Almost 3-hour-long stream. Dang.
The whole Pruitt clan had come to root Becky onto stardom. You could
The
feel...
clan.
Yeah. Yeah, remember Becky Pruitt is a name he stole from his real-life relatives?
That's right.
I mean, folks had crazy names, and then once it started to be possible for women to take like their husband's name, before it was like if your husband had a garbage name, you were stuck with it no matter what. But with feminism, there was a little bit more negotiation there. She can say, "Hey, your last name kind of sucks. We should just go by Jones," and then the worst last name just kind of faded out over time.
I mean, to be honest, I've stolen names from my real life to put them in stories that I wrote. When I was really young, I used to take first and last name and just stick it in the story. Right. But like I've taken first names from one person and last names from another person to kind of like create a name.
I mean, that's not an uncommon out of all the things to make fun of people for. Like that's a common thing to do.
Yeah.
You could feel the electricity. It was like everyone was on tiptoe, waiting.
Remember, they're on one tiptoe. It's kind of hard to do that.
They're all ballerinas.
And when the place exploded, Ruby...
Dang.
Oh,
It was
End
Home Alone,
credits.
I guess.
Ruby
Home Alone
opened the door to the locker room and let our girls in for their first day game. The cheering and yelling was so loud it caught them by surprise. They just stood, shocked. Where'd they come running in for the game? And when it dawned on them that the ovation was for them and that all of Sunny Hills was rooting them on to victory. I'm gonna be
way to
honest.
go, babe.
The only time I attended a game of my school's team, it was because it was forced honors. I would never go there voluntarily.
I went to a couple of games of different sports, and when I was in college, I went to more. I went to the women's basketball games, and it's pretty normal to have everybody cheering when they come out. I mean, they must have been truly horrendous for no one to cheer before. They're not even like comfortable with the concept that they're being cheered for. That's really sad.
I mean, they weren't good because they had like a very interesting teacher, and also they were all apparently drunk, and that gave them a lot of energy because alcohol is a stimulant. That's how that works.
Yeah, did they?
For sure.
I forgot about. I don't think you guys told me. Did they ever find out what was actually in that lemonade?
Vodka.
Vodka and drugs, I think, because like.
No, just vodka.
But what about the other guys that brought it away? Because like they were drug dealers, right?
Yeah,
No, it was
they deal drugs, but they only got vodka for the schoolgirls.
The drug they deal is alcohol.
Oh, that makes a lot of
They've
sense.
got they've got these
Goodbye.
long trench coats that are jangling with glass and metal, and you see them open it up, and it's like beer bottles and vodka and like Patron, in the jackets.
Yeah, I don't drink, which is one of many reasons that I fear deportation from the Czech Republic. But like, Isn't it a thing that like fruity drink, like if you make it like fruity enough, it's like fruity drinks are dangerous because you can't really taste the alcohol? Maybe that's what he was going for with you can't taste the vodka.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah. Oh, you don't think so?
I don't think he's intelligent enough or writing, or doesn't think the audience is intelligent enough to think of a better excuse than like, oh, it's vodka. You can't taste vodka.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past Dick Bohrer to just be like, whatever, like, I just say they can't taste it, the audience will just accept that.
It's another thing is the fact, like, this book came out, I know by the way it's written, but, like, it came out in, like, the 90s, right?
1991.
Okay, so 90s written in the 80s, like, I don't know, I feel like he could, you think the reason why, I've got a thought, is it possible that in earlier drafts, the stuff that they were drugged with was, like, an actual stimulant, like cocaine?
I'll tell you right now, you're wrong, because there was no earlier draft.
As in, like, when he was, hear me out, is it possible that, like, in like, an earlier version of it, or, like, even when he was pitching it, instead of being alcohol, it was an actual stimulant of some kind, like cocaine, and then that was changed because this was during, like, a time when it was, like, that was, like, the cold crack epidemic was big, and they're like, okay, that's not good for kids. You can't have that in there.
No, Dick Bohrer was a school teacher for a significant portion of his life before he wrote this. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was always alcohol, because he was just like, I can mention alcohol. I don't want to mention any other harder drugs at all. He's like, I trust Dick Bohrer to know not to tell the kids about the cracks cocaine.
I don't know, I just feel like this could have been turned into, like, an anti-drug PSA. Like, because kids media did have, like, you could have...
Certainly would have been better.
Yeah, you could have kids media have, like, a cocaine dealer, as long as the guy, like, got hit by a bus at some point. But, like... So people know that crack is bad.
A counterpoint, they mentioned the street name Sugar, and the conflate that, he admits to putting sugar in lemonade. You know what I'm saying? So, like... I guess that's possible. Putting around the issue.
Yeah, but that was just Dick Bohrer's anti-police PSA.
Oh yeah, that's right. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, you got real kind of like Dick Bohrer based. No.
Okay.
Oh God.
1. I called to Ruby over the noise. Circle the court. Show him you're going to win. Ruby led off and the girls followed, loping around the court, their hands clenched high.
Yes, it says loping in the book, not looping.
Yeah, loping. Like an
animal. Is that a thing people said?
It's a word. I think. Isn't it? Isn't that usually how they describe long bounding strides? Yep.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
The more you know.
The band was playing our fight song, and the cheerleaders were doing flips and somersaults. The place had gone crazy.
It's more than what my cheerleaders did. So
they huddled when they got back to me. Springfield thinks you're a bunch of nerds who live back in the hills. Keep your cool, but go show them who's going to get the gold.
What?
Okay.
What? No, that's not what they think. They think they're a bunch of weird maniacs who had a scandal. Well, someone said to put vodka in the lemonade.
Actually, I think it's funny because Springfield thinking you're a bunch of nerds who live back in the hills sounds like a better reputation than what the truth was. Until Bean got involved, they were just doing like weird drunk witchcraft or something instead of volleyball. So I don't know. I think you should really
rival Riff.
Yeah, keep your cool, but go show them who's going to get the gold. Actually win this game. They think you're a bunch of losers, so they're not going to try hard. You can beat them easy.
Oh, fair enough.
Although I'm seeing the next paragraph, they're champions, so... Ruh-roh.
They broke the huddle when the announcer began to introduce the starting players. We were playing Springfield, champions of the Northern Cities League. Our girls had watched them play in the quarterfinals and had figured out their strategy.
What is their strategy? No one knows.
I don't think Dick Bohrer knows enough about volleyball to describe a real strategy. I know I wouldn't. If I was writing this book, I'd have no fucking idea.
It looks like Dick Bohrer needed his own volleyball spy.
I mean, even in the book, Beanpole didn't know anything about volleyball at the very beginning of the thing. I don't think Dick Bohrer did any research into volleyball before this.
Yeah,
That's my guess.
Because his
I mean, why would he?
true message is anti-New Age bullshit, not...
Yeah, volleyball is just the scenery for the real message, which is
It could have
no
been any
New Age
sport.
bullshit. Yeah. They could
It
have
could have
doing
been
curling.
cricket.
Yeah. Actually, he did cover curling in Curling Cunt.
Yeah.
My favorite Dick Bohrer book.
Forgot about that one.
Which one was Cricket Crotch? Which one was that one?
Cricket crotch. Cricket crotch. What? Okay.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Basketball bitches.
Is that our next meetup game? You know how the SCC they play D20. Are we going to play Cricket Crotch?
Oh my
Oh.
gosh. Good. Have fun. Good luck.
Crickets and crotches.
No, we meet up, we play basketball, and we drop sick rap lines while we're playing.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to freestyle rap during the.
Oh god.
I've got a bunch of like tabletop games I got in like a bundle. We could find one and do a stream where we try a new tabletop game.
Ooh, that sounds
Yeah.
like fun.
Okay. Just
Record plans in
a,
real time, folks.
Just gotta plan.
yeah.
I
Just
got
a,
one.
just a handful of Springfield fans had come down for the game, so only a few people were cheering for their starting lineup. But thunder and lightning struck when they introduced our girls. You would have thought the walls were going to cave in from all the noise.
Hell yeah! Walls of Jericho, bitch.
It wasn't
go.
even a contest. We wiped them out 15-2, 15-4, and 15-6. They didn't know what hit them.
What the shit?
So the strategy they tried was instead of ceding the punch to the girls, they generously offered the punch to the opposing team.
Yeah.
It's a controversial strategy, but it worked.
Yeah, you guys come. We'll play at our volleyball court. We'll provide hydration. Don't worry about it. And then you just pull.
Wait, doesn't alcohol dehydrate you?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it does.
Cool.
I should know that from my time in Mexico.
That win moved us up to the semi-finals. We had 2 games to go. My problem was keeping the girls isolated. All they needed was for their friends to tell them how wonderful they were.
I'm sorry, what?
No.
What?
Wait. Hear him out. Hear him out.
They would get a big head and then they'd be useless. I explained the problem to Mrs. Finster, our head chaperone.
Yeah. See what he's like. In New Age stuff, they tell you the power of positive thinking. You're supposed to put your positivity out into the universe and whatever, right? And his response is, no, you should feel like shit. You should always be shit and feel like shit, and then you'll do good.
You've heard of Calvin Ball? This is Calvinist Ball.
Yeah. Okay, that's better than the joke I had. Calvinist Ball!
Hell yeah.
A high education is happening here today.
Oh.
It's important that they watch the other games, but I don't want our fans to spoil them. What should I do?
You can't keep them from their friends, Bean.
She said.
Yeah.
They need the encouragement, but tell the girls you're feeling, talk things over. They like that about you, Bean. They respect what you think.
Yeah.
Sure.
See, that's the danger, right? Because he's gonna neg these girls to the gold. As long as they respect what he thinks, they'll be winning. As soon as they realize he's full of shit, it's over for them.
Well,
He's feeling upwards, meanwhile the other two just fell downwards.
Yes.
well, that made me feel better, so I called a short meeting for after they got dressed. We went into a side room and I explained how I felt. This is one of the girls.
Oh, way to go, babe.
That's basically all they say. Can they say anything else?
Yeah, he walks into the room and he explains how he feels, and then to get their feedback, he pulls the string on the back, and she goes, "Way to go, babe."
It's a Pokemon thing. That's all they can say. It's their names. It means something different. It's like, way to go, babe.
Hey, babe. Way to go, babe.
I was gonna say that's like generic, like Starfield, like dialogue.
One said, they solve a problem and agreed that they talk to their friends just a little bit and then they'd sit together to watch the other matches.
Yeah, that's what way to go, babe meant.
I don't get.
We ate supper with the other athletes and there was another little program to salute the winners. Half the number of players were left because the losers had packed up their things and gone home. But something got started at supper that put me on edge. I admit it, I'm suspicious. Understatement of a year.
Hold on, he's suspicious? Really?
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Of course he doesn't.
Also, is supper supposed to have 2 P's?
Yes.
Yeah. The word I'm thinking of is
yeah. Otherwise it's called. Otherwise it's super. You know what I'm saying?
like Superman.
For some reason, I think I'm glad I didn't use it somewhere. I think I would have misspelled it. I thought that it was like an American spelling versus British spelling thing. Like traveling.
Traveling?
Traveling
2 L's,
has
1
2.
L?
Yeah, it's got 2 L's in British English and 1 L in American English, or the other way around.
Yeah, a lot of words that end in an L, the double L or single L thing is.
It's because the guy who was standardizing the official American dictionary when like spelling was standardized, he purposely made things different from British English for no reason other than to make it different.
I think he justified that by saying it was somehow better, but I mean,
yeah.
You know, if you'd asked me when we started the SDC how I felt about spelling, I would have been very different than I am today. That was like 10 fucking years ago, and so my views on spelling have changed completely because I just don't care anymore. Like, I still spell things as correctly as I can, quote unquote correctly, but like, nothing is real. Words are just made up. Like literally nothing is real. I'm just a pile of organs, and even then, the concept of organs is just made up. There's no me and the universe. There's just the universe. So why do I give a shit about how someone else spells words?
What story broke you that badly?
No story broke me that badly. LSD broke me that badly.
Yeah, what even
I
is...
took LSD and it changed my whole worldview.
Yeah, like, what even is a chair?
No, for real. It really fundamentally changed me. It also reduced the amount of migraines I got. I used to get migraines like twice a week, and now I get them like once every 3 months.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It also changed the way my wife used to be very cursing averse, and the first time we took LSD, she immediately started cursing. I was driving. I had not taken anything at the time, but she was sitting in the car. I wanted to show her that. Yeah, I just needed to clarify. But I wanted to show her the world while she was on LSD, and I was driving around, and she was looking at people on the street and flipping them off and going, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you." It was great. Then I pushed her down in her seat so they couldn't see her.
Golly, I should get me 1 dose of LSD, and I
be careful with that. Make sure you're in a good headspace. Otherwise,
good headspace. 1 dose. Don't push things. There's a person that we all knew from the previous server, who I won't name to protect their privacy, but I recently got in contact with them again, and they fried their brain. They accidentally / like somebody poisoned them, maybe they think. Potentially, but now they can't tell because they took 45 tabs of LSD at once. Yeah, and it like did serious brain damage to them.
Yeah, that sounds like it would.
This to us before, like
I don't want to say their name on screen.
Yeah.
Why would possess them to have 45 tabs at once?
Well, they think that they might have been poisoned by somebody. that maybe they intended to take one, and then somebody else may have, like, while they were unconscious, put the rest in their mouth. Yeah, like
Jesus.
they were
That
sleeping
one
and
bad
somebody
trip.
stuck it in their mouth, and then they had to go to the hospital.
Oh, I see.
Does anyone else have bad trip stories or?
Actually, I don't. I get a little bit paranoid when I'm high, but not really a bad trip. My wife has never had a bad trip.
Yeah, I had this like really bad trip once where I took 3 edibles, like 3 cookies, and that was really bad. So
Yeah, that's a lot.
yeah, that was a really rough night.
I
Yeah,
get
the
drug
worst-
tested for my job, so
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't really take cannabis anymore since I had a panic attack a month ago.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
not for everybody.
Oh, huh. You think the opposite would happen?
Well, it
Depends.
depends. Some people, yeah, it's it depends on your headspace when you go in, and depends on the strain. Some strains do different things for different people.
This is what Dare should have been. An honest
Yeah,
discussion
right.
about
An
drugs.
honest reflection on what drugs can do instead of freaking everybody out about stuff. Although, to be fair, there's definitely a line that I don't cross. Like I won't try anything harder than LSD.
My forensics teacher at some point towards the end of the school year, she kind of stopped caring, and so in class we just were watching like National Geographic's Drug Inc. And the strangest episode of them all was the one about, I think it was ecstasy, and the reason why that made the episode so strange is because every single other one they talk about, like, hey, this drug, this does XYZ to your body, it's bad for you, whatever, don't do it. But then when the one about ecstasy, there was basically saying you shouldn't do it. It's like, well, they're like, it's illegal, and also like it's difficult to get it pure, and so it might be laced with something else more dangerous, so you shouldn't trust it. At no point did they say, hey, LSD is bad. And when they did the interview with at no point did they say like ecstasy is bad. And when they did the interview with like the drug dealer with the mask and the chains voice, there's like, well, yeah, we do our best to make sure that our product is like as pure as possible. But some people, they don't take the time and effort that we take into putting into it. So you got to stay safe out there.
Yeah. They were just like, it's like it's hard to get it pure, but if you can,
it's fine.
Yeah.
Also, in talking about
that is not. By the way, none of this is an endorsement of committing any crime.
It's not. It's me saying it's not. It's me saying that this was a wild documentary, and they also talked about how like.
And any of my experience, I'm talking about things I've done in the past.
Also was like a Mormon priest guy who was selling like heroin with basically the same reasoning behind why like a parent will let their kid drink in the house. Like, if I don't sell it to them, they're gonna buy it from someone else. They might as well buy it from someone else who cares about their well-being and is like going to check on them and make sure they're not buying more they can afford. And I was like, hey, dude, you're selling heroin.
Yeah. I mean,
don't try to like.
Yeah, don't try to.
Don't do that.
You're doing some real mental gymnastics here. You're going.
Yeah, it was insane.
I will say.
Speaking of going for the gold.
We gotta read Dick Bohrer.
Yeah, forget my freaking story.
Yeah,
let's
get
let's do it.
Some good-looking.
Sorry, John.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Some good-looking guys sat down among our girls and with bright eyes and big toothy smiles told them how wonderful they were. Who are those guys? I asked an official from the host school.
Shit, I think that's my line. Hold on, I lost.
We're on page 80.
That's the New Haven cheerleading team.
Okay.
They won the state championship last year. They're back for another try at it, and they're everybody's favorite to walk off with the gold.
Is that just Butch from the Boys?
I just did a voice. Hold on 1 sec. God damn it.
Oh, I originally took that character.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Shoot.
fine.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. Thanks, I said. That was all I needed to hear. Not that I don't trust cheerleaders from opposing school, but I've had enough trouble doing football season with guys like that trying to get rid of Danny Pruitt. Was Danny seduced by cheerleaders? Dick Bohrer, stop making advertisements for your other books. Don't get me interested.
Please. Oh, gotcha, yeah.
I had to do something, but I didn't know what. I could go over to their tables and tell them their coach had called an emergency meeting for all members of the Yale squad. But that would be lying.
No, it wasn't. No, it's not.
No, he means telling the cheerleaders that they have a meeting, not his girls.
Like, yeah, there's a meeting over there you need to go to. Stop talking to them. You need to go. You know, lying.
Lying, man.
That,
Sin.
that was the way people who don't know the Lord often act. I
Yeah.
didn't want to be like that. But what could I do? Lord, I need wisdom again. I can't do anything without you. I'm worthless without you.
Thanks,
I
mean-
Lord. I don't need a career.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This next paragraph is great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I decided not to make a scene. I waited until our team meeting after supper. The girls came in high as kites. I don't know what it is about girls.
What?
They make
Girls
you
get high, dude.
You do.
they make you think when they are out in public that they don't even know there are guys walking this earth, but get them alone together and they can't talk about anything else.
Women, huh?
I mean, you know, when girls are in public around other people, we don't want to fail the mental test, so we try to keep guys from coming up in conversation. But you know, when we're alone, nobody's checking.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And
Oh,
we
hey,
get-
Jimmy. Wasn't he a doll?
Can I take
And
this
those
next one?
shoulders on Ted,
Never
what a
mind.
man!
Oh my gosh. Never fucking heard a woman talk like this ever. I've never heard a person talk like this ever.
I mean, I've heard girls talk about guys' shoulders.
Again, this is just Starfield dialogue.
It's just a little
Yeah.
bit politer to ask first, or like try.
I half expected to just hear peas and carrots, peas and carrots.
They were going on and on about these creeps. It was enough to make a guy want to bring up his supper, if you know what I mean.
No, we don't.
Wink.
Yeah.
Don't go into
Bean's
bulimia.
just
B.
upset that like the cheerleaders are talking to, you know, the girls and not, you know, him, since he worked really hard to get their team together, and maybe they've got something going on with their cheerleading team that he can help them out with, you know.
Yeah, just feels entitled.
Like Dunka, just thank you. So just say that.
Julius,
Well,
I know you're a member of the channel, but talking about their cheeks in public is way too lewd for the stream where we talk
Okay.
about drugs.
God
Yeah.
damn it. Oh, by the way, Luna, is someone in your room with you right now?
Oh, sorry. Are they
Yeah, I could hear them. I didn't want to be rude, but like it's
Yeah, sorry about that. I'll just mute when I'm talking.
okay.
Okay, girls, okay. It's time
Yeah.
for serious talk.
Wait, hold on. I don't think my mic is hooked up to the right
Oh.
one. That could be a problem.
You be like that when you grow up, Bean. Big and bright and good looking.
Oh God, stop it! No, stop it! If he's as young as you say he is, like you're hitting on a minor, like a kid stuff. Bad touch, yes, exactly.
I told them, hey, I'm scared. I know those guys look great, but they are on the New Haven team. If you win tonight and they win tonight, you're going to play them for the gold. So why do you think they are loving you up? What do you think they've got on their mind?
What? What? Okay, the last thing, I totally get that. But what gets me is like, are they like, is it male cheerleaders for volleyball, or are they just playing a women's team up against a man's team?
I think these guys, they're just the male cheerleaders. And based Dick Bohrer is not mentioning that that's unusual in any way.
I see. Good to know.
Yeah. I don't know. These girls are high as kites, so.
Okay, Joaquin, do you want to take Amy Wilson? I think Julius was her last time.
Okay. What was the voice that he did?
I don't remember.
DJ. Okay.
Amy Wilson said,
You're so suspicious. Why can't we have a little fun?
have all the fun you want, I said. Take your choice. You can have fun with boys or win the state championship. You can't have both.
See, it's a metaphor for choosing Jesus. The state championship is
Jesus.
Jesus.
And the boys is metaphor for boys.
They're or in the first draft of this, instead of going for the gold, they were going for the myrrh. Like frankincense, myrrh.
Yes. Gotcha. Always look on the bright side of life. Am I right?
Yeah.
Amy said.
I fixed the mic that I was using, so it should be.
You're a lot quieter now. Let me turn you up.
No, that's on me. Hold on, I'll try to fix that. I've been trying to mess with settings, but I think I'm using. Is this better? Is this better?
Yes.
Okay, I'm using I realized that I was using my computer mic and not my directional mic, and since my mic is directional, there should be less background noise. I just didn't realize.
You actually turned up your mic up just a little bit louder.
Hold on.
Yeah, if you just right-click on her, you can do user volume and individually bump her up. I think Clemens just did that.
Yeah.
Okay, so do I sound good? I should sound clear.
I can hear you now.
All right, cool.
Okay, now some others joined in.
Oh, yeah, why not?
Some others joined in.
Oh.
You guys have been through this once. I don't understand why you can't see what's going on here.
Hey.
What?
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 It's Grant all over again. He wanted you to be his girls, and you saw through him. How come you can't see through these guys? They are just the same.
Oh, forgive us for not seeing the big fucking cameras on these guys.
Bingo. Way to go, babe.
I think that's just the only thing some of those girls can say. Like, I genuinely think that it's a Pokemon.
Like, maybe Dick Moore heard someone do, like, they were playing volleyball, someone did something right, and he heard someone say, way to go, babe, and he thought, like, this is like a hip young people phrase. And he thinks it's
Did
like...
Did he also say bingo?
Well, that's him from his retirement home.
Oh, I see.
When I play volleyball, I always say bazing. No,
yeah, bazinga!
Zimbabwe!
Volleyball's on your head afterwards.
They got the point. My 2 and 2 made 4. Grant had given them the glad eye and the toothy smile, and they all knew they couldn't trust him.
What?
Oh, is Grant here?
What?
No, he's talking about the past interactions with Grant.
Yeah.
I was almost glad they'd had that experience, because now they could see how good-looking guys can say one thing and mean another.
Good thing ugly guys are really straightforward.
I mean, now, if I see a guy, I immediately assume they're going to be filming me going into the bathroom and changing. So, yeah.
Yeah, good-looking guys, yeah. Bad-looking guys, ugly guys, you can tell, you can just leave them alone. They're just shit through and through.
Look at Bean work his fucking manipulation magic.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the thing about Bean, I think it's important to know, is Bean comes across, like, the thing is, Bean, like, something that's important, Bean comes across as manipulative, right? Like, saying things like that. But the issue with, if this were the real world, he would be manipulative. But the problem that, I said this like the stream before last, is that he lives in a world where he's correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he's not saying this because he wants to control them. He's saying this because he's like, hey, this is a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially when they...
He's right, so...
Especially when they come from the school you're going to fight in the championship, if you make it that far. Our game at 9 was with Silver City, winners of the Long River Valley Conference. They'd been in the finals with New Haven the year before, and we know they were tough. Our fans were ready.
Oh man, I almost feel like giving. I'll give Dick Bohrer this much credit, and I'll hopefully not regret this. I appreciate that we're kind of racing through these games. Like in this one chapter, we've seen 3-4 games already, and we're about to see another one, maybe another one. Like, you know, I appreciate that we're not getting a play-by-play on every game. Because just like him, I don't care about volleyball either.
There was the same explosion as the night before when our girls came out on the floor. Only there were hundreds of people there for Silver City and New Haven.
Wait, what? I don't think that's how volleyball, high school volleyball works.
This is the league where, like, one game, like, a girl collapsed. One of the coaches started, like, talking about, like, she's a goddess. She's a goddess. You don't need to heal her. She's fine. And, like, a kid took the punch and then started running, pursued by, like, 5 people with palpable murderous intent. Like, they're not here for the volleyball. They're here because they think something crazy might happen and they want to see it.
Okay,
yeah, they live in... I mean, they're coming to a city where they only put up traffic lights when people die.
Wait,
so,
for real?
Remember? From Night Watcher?
Oh, shit.
He said the only reason they put up traffic lights is when accidents happen and people die. That's the only time they do.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not... That is like a... I mean, I know they only put up, like, warning deer crossing signs when, like, at least 3 people have died in a deer-related incident. Or maybe that's just...
Okay, but, like, if you you can predict where cars are gonna be.
It's dirt roads. They don't have pavement. They just have a bunch of desire paths.
Okay.
Yeah. The Dick Bohrer wasn't around when roads were paved.
Yeah, the first draft of this book was written before the horseless carriage.
Which had won the preliminary, so we knew the winner of our game would be playing New Haven. Our girls were mad at those guys had tried to distract them. They were ready for Silver City. I don't know how such nice girls could be so mean. We took the first game 15-0. It was the first time in this history of championships that one team had beaten another 15-0.
I find that hard to believe, but okay.
That is highly unlikely.
Boy, did our fans rock that place.
I mean, 15 is, like, a score to, like, zip isn't... Typically, the other team will at least get 1. You know?
Yeah, but he said in the history of the championships.
How long do you think this championship has been going on for?
Since the dawn of time.
even before the game volleyball was invented.
Cain and Abel were the earliest teams.
Yeah. Cain lost and he didn't take it too well.
Did not take it well.
There was a whole other plants versus meat sacrifice thing, but that just added to the thing. That wasn't the initial fire that caused the whole thing.
Yeah, Abel said, "Pass the rock," and Cain got so mad.
And Cain said, "Way to go, babe."
Way to go, babe. Smack him in there.
I mean, you know, think about kicking rocks. As Bean did say, that's what girls usually do: kick rocks along the sidewalk.
Yeah.
They also do golf and
Beanpole has a really strange view of women.
I mean, he lives in a... That's what I say. It's like, you gotta think... What I do to make this book Bean a little bit more bearable is don't think of Bean as, like, a person living in a normal world. Think of Bean as, like, a guy living in, like, a world put together by, like, a madman.
Yeah. Yeah, and
he's living in Wonderland, essentially, like a Wonderland. No logic, doesn't make sense.
Made by psychopaths.
Yeah, like everyone, like, he's not. Maybe girls do just kick rocks down the sidewalk in his world. You don't know.
Yeah.
The next game was almost reverse. Silver City woke up and tried to pound us into the floor. The game tied at 12 and again at 13. They were serving and sent a deep serve over the net.
Oh, they were serving.
No, I'm thinking of basketball. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know who claimed Ruby, but it's her line.
Let it go! Let it go!
What the hell? I was about to say Elphaba, because that's the actress for Elsa from Frozen, for some reason.
Is her name Elphaba?
No,
Yeah.
Elphaba was... Wait, what?
I'm sorry, Elphaba was like the Wicked Witch in the play
From
Wicked,
Wicked, yeah.
and then she played Elsa in Frozen.
Oh, I didn't know it was the same person. Huh.
Oh, I see, okay.
Ruby called. Anderson let it go and the ball hit in the bounce. It was a point for SC.
You idiots!
On game point, both teams volleyed back and forth. It seemed to be going.
Right. Indeed, Menzel, thank you.
Seemed to be going on forever. Neither team could find a weakness in the other's defense. Then a Silver City forward looked one way and slammed the ball in other to win the game.
Wait, hang on a second. I just realized something. Silver City, that's a big deal in like Christian circles, right?
No.
Silver City?
Or at least like, oh, it's heaven, the Silver City of heaven, or whatever the hell.
No, that's not a thing.
Never mind. I was about to say like, oh, they're going up against heaven because Silver City. Me realizing,
Are you thinking
Silver
of the Emerald City from The Wizard of Oz?
Or the Pearly Gates of Heaven?
Yeah, the Pearly Gate. That's what I mean. Like,
okay.
in the show Lucifer, they call it the Silver City.
You watched the show Lucifer?
Yeah, it's good.
Why'd you say it like that?
I hate that show. I didn't know anybody watched it.
I mean, enough people watch it that, like, I didn't have any interest in watching it, so
I just assumed those were plants, or, like, this was some kind of ruse that the government is pulling on me or something.
I don't think the United States government would sponsor a show called Lucifer.
No, I think, like, all of it, most of the shows I don't watch are just there to be things for me to pass while I'm on a streaming service.
What the hell?
You know, just the other day, I was on my Roku, and you should try this on your Roku. Go to the search option and search for the word Brandon. I saw something that was Brandon, and it was just Brandon. There was no description. There was no time or place you could watch it, and it was described as a divertisement. That's it.
A divertisement?
Yeah, so like a diversion, just something to kind of like whatever, but that's it. It was just Brandon. It wasn't like a person. There was no movie. There was no description. Nothing. It just said Brandon divertisement.
I think if you admit, try clicking on Brandon at like 3 a.m. You might get something different.
Yeah,
Our fans groaned. It was one game apiece. The third game was a repeat. The teams tied on practically every point all the way up to the end, and then the serve changed sides time after time. You only win a point when you serve. We set the record that night for the longest game in tournament history. Both teams were getting tired and our girls were really tense.
I gotta say, that one I get. With being in charge, it's gonna be a slog.
Yeah.
I called timeout. You girls have forgotten one thing. That's why you're not putting this game away, I told them in the huddle.
Way to go, babe. Or, I'm sorry, what's that? Just went on instinct.
The ball isn't a volleyball, it's Gwen's head.
Oh.
We killed it.
That got them laughing.
It's still sentient. It's tossing. It's like,
Sport that originated that way with someone's head. Was it soccer? Hold on.
That got them laughing and relaxed. They went back out and won the game.
Oh, well, there we go.
We won it for Grunt.
They said.
Yeah, we won it for Grunt.
We want it for a grind. Jeez.
They said they laughed all the way to the locker room. They'd won it for Grant. They'd won it for the guy who had almost ruined their season. Almost, but not quite.
You let me down, man. You couldn't have just let the joke. Oh, it's a joke, and then you had to explain it to them.
I wondered what they'd do in the final game for the guy who had helped them get this far. Me.
I've seen some
right
films. I've seen some films that could tell you what happens in all. You know, Wink. You know what I'm talking about, Wink.
Oh shit.
I don't.
Wink.
Elaborate.
It's a little porn joke.
I don't believe that being could last any length of time with one female. A volleyball team, forget it.
Yeah, well, I mean, he would just send them running away screaming because they're sinners.
Oh, of course.
He'd pull out the holy water and start dumping it on them.
Wait, doesn't Christianity teach us we're all sinners deep down? Or is that like...
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're all sinners, but there are extra sinners because God likes him.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
He's God's favorite.
Well, Job was God's favorite. So,
we all know what happened to God's favorite.
Yeah. All that said, I think it would be really funny if they had like a big thing of holy water and they poured it on Bean at the end.
like
a
reverse carry.
Melting, what a world.
I didn't mean like a reverse carry. I meant like the Gatorade on the coach thing, but like with holy water.
Oh God.
Okay, the penultimate chapter, the end. Reporters held me up again. They couldn't understand how girls from our small town could have so much, what did they call it? Poise. They said we seemed to have nerves of steel. They kept asking questions. It was hard to get away. Everyone was on the bus by the time I got there.
Who's saying
about
this?
us, Bean? You won't let us talk to those sweet boys and let you hang out with all the girls from those schools. How come you can and we can't?
Because I'm not playing.
It
doesn't matter if I'm distracted.
They laughed. They loved to tease me. They knew I'd been with reporters. Hey, big team, I said before they got off the bus at the motel. We've got one more to go. Those guys from New Haven are going to be in this motel. They are going to call you up and keep you up if they can. They want to get your emotions all stirred up and they want to tire you out so you'll be a wreck tomorrow. Are you going to let them? Is it worth the gold?
What the fuck are you talking about?
They're gonna try to get their D's wet.
They're gonna call them up and keep them on the phone.
Oh, I thought.
And then come over, and then they're gonna, tire them out.
Oh no, I read that as the reporters were going to like just report them to death.
Oh no, it's those guys from New Haven.
Dang it, I like my version better.
I mean,
hey Adam, no, it's not.
Wilson patted me on the cheek as she got off the bus.
See you in the morning, Bean Mother.
Oh no.
She laughed. I didn't laugh. I said to Becky when it was her turn to get off. Keep your eye on Amy, okay?
Oh, right. Will do, Bean Mother.
Stop it right now. This is borderline Handmaid's Tale kind of thing.
I mean, see, I guess what Bean thought that these girls needed to be good at volleyball was a coach who could keep them celibate.
Oh God damn it! I hate
right?
myself.
I mean, isn't that basically what I mean?
I mean, it's Bean Mother. Like you got cloth
like
mother.
He didn't know anything about volleyball before he became their coach.
I mean, I don't think Strumpf did either. So
sure, but I'm saying like they were already left to their own devices. They are genuinely good at volleyball, without some other random person poisoning their minds with all their new age bullshit. So all Bean needs to do is keep their sex drive in check by telling them not to get laid, and then they're good. They're championship level team.
So Bean just exercising not November rules. Ah, I see.
Yeah,
That
basically.
makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, he's helping them keep No Nut November, and they're gonna win.
Yeah.
Great.
And that's why the stream is in November. It all makes sense now.
It all makes sense now. And now you know the rest of the story.
Yeah, that was Volleyball's bye-bye.
Oh, thank you.
She said, laughing, she must have kept Amy in line because I didn't hear about any funny stuff that night. And
or maybe it happened, there was so much funny stuff they couldn't tell you about.
And everybody was bright and bushy-tailed next morning.
Not bright-eyed, just bright. Okay.
Glowing, radiant.
Yeah.
They were all there. You could say they were glowing. Wait
a minute.
The whole school had tours and amusements for the girls in the morning. In the afternoon, the consolation game was played. There was a banquet for the teams and fans of both schools in the finals that night about 5.
We got banquet?
Yeah, you never and that's
is that a thing in the finals? They do a bank. I'm genuinely curious.
My school did general athletic banquets. It's the end of the end of the season, and so it'll be something for maybe a winning team or all the teams, and it'll just be tables. You dress up nice. There are some photos.
Really?
They call up for award with cheap plastic trophies.
I didn't know that.
My brother does lacrosse. I've gone to a couple, but I don't go to my brother's lacrosse games anymore because both of us are convinced that if I ever go to his lacrosse games, he'll lose, because that's happened every time I've gone.
Too much pressure.
Yeah. So I just stay home when my brother plays lacrosse.
We got all the honors. Ruby got the Most Inspirational Player award, and Becky got the Best Sportsmanship trophy. It was the first time that award had gone to a girl in the ninth grade.
Say it with me, you know the words. That seems very unlikely.
No, I believe it. Ninth graders aren't really known for their sportsmanship.
Yeah.
So what? All the ninth graders just curse like a sailor mouth?
Yeah, it's ninth graders and 10th graders and middle schoolers have this issue where they're intelligent enough to know what mean things to say to people are, but they don't have the empathy to not say them.
Yeah.
After the banquet, we had to walk through a pep rally the kids from New Haven had started on the cafeteria stairs. I'd had a sweater on in the cafeteria because they kept that place cold. I took it off as we walked down the steps. I'd been talking to Becky about her award and looking where I was going when I suddenly became aware that a group of guys was standing in the middle of the stairs. I didn't think anything about it. Why not? You're the most suspicious person on earth.
Well, you know what? He finally let his guard down for once, and we'll see.
Surely now, not everyone is as psychopathic as in my hometown.
There were people all over the place.
Before we continue, I just want to say, I was just looking at chat, and I scrolled up in the chat, and I see Julius said, wait until Bob finds out I read Charlie Bone as a kid. Julius, we're going to need to have a conversation about this. I don't want to derail everything with a big Charlie Bone rant again, but we'll have a conversation later.
I want so bad. And listen, I'm not. If I were to try to write J. Edgar Bean pulp fan fiction, that I would wake up in a cold sweat with my computer destroyed. But someone needs to write something where it's it's from the POV of a character who is not Bean, and it's this new kid transfers into the school. The kid is weirdly paranoid, and nobody likes him or whatever because he's really paranoid. He jumps at things he should not jump at. It's why is he so why is he like that? And then someone just happens to look him up and I don't know, something, and they see articles from his hometown, and they're hey buddy, I promise we're not going to try to kill you.
I bet. I mean, that would be the kind of thing where like you'd see the conversations, and everybody else would be like, "Bean, just chill out," and then like he would respond as though they said something else. He's having his own half of the conversation, that we are not even hearing, and he's like, "What the hell are you talking about? You're just talking to yourself right now."
Not even
and Bean
like
is like,
that.
"Haha, Jesus is on my side," and then he'll leave, and you're like,
not
"Oh."
Even that. Not even. He's in a different location, and it's like he's like still in like I am in a town full of insane people mode, and it's like he replies to the things they say. It's like he clearly heard what they said, but is taking like some insane meaning out of it, and everyone's like, "Hey, I don't know what's wrong with him. There's something up," and then someone's like, "Yeah, I came by his old town. I found like a newspaper article. He left because like the entire school tried to murder him." What?
Yeah.
Like they. Dude needs a better home environment.
Speaking of the entire school trying to murder him.
Yeah, I was saying to Becky, and boy, were those guys from New Haven surprised that you and Ruby won all the trophies. When somebody smacked a piece of tape across my mouth and someone else grabbed me by the arm and twisted it high behind my back. I yelled the noise you yell when your mouth is taped shut.
That's a beautiful sentence. Oh gosh, that's a beauty.
That is written by a human.
I think I'm just gonna steal that sentence for something I'm writing. I'm just gonna steal it whole cloth.
New Haven was yelling too, so nobody heard any sound I made. They marched me over to a van in the parking lot. I fought as much as you can fight when pain is shooting through your shoulder and you're walking on your toes.
So what happened to Becky? Did she just like let him get kidnapped?
I mean, I think personally, if I witnessed someone getting kidnapped like that, I stopped doing Taekwondo in 2nd grade. My thought would be call the police and get a teacher. Like, I would not, like, I was like, I'd like to help physically, but like, I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to find someone who can.
I'm half surprised that like they were walking on some stairs, right? So like, I imagine they get to the top of the stairs and Becky sees the guys down there, and then she knows that they're planning to kidnap Bean, but she can't resist the urge to just push Bean down the stairs herself. And then he goes tumbling down, and they're like, "Hey, what the hell happened? We had a plan." She's like, "I'm sorry, I couldn't. It was right. I couldn't." And he's now crumpled on the floor, broken Bean.
They shoved me through the door of the van, and someone inside grabbed me by the hair. The driver revved the motor and took off. I wasn't looking where. All I could see was 2 eyes riveted into mine.
I also just got to say, I think it's really, really great that New Haven, presumably these are the guys from New Haven or whoever it is. It doesn't really matter, but it's beautiful to me that they want the team to lose. So the thing that they do is not take one of the star players. They took the coach.
Well, it will be revealed who is it.
It's not New Haven.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
Yeah. This is your line.
I told you we get you, Bean, if you didn't mind your own business, but no, you had to.
It was Eddie, and with him were the other guys I played ball with, rapping and shooting and laughing.
What?
Yeah, he played basketball with a bunch of drug dealers unknowingly.
They played basketball, and they had a talk while they played basketball, and like, it didn't feel like a rap sesh. It felt more like it felt Shakespearean. Like at the time, we compared
it
to like the 3 ladies in the three witches from Macbeth.
Not one of them was laughing now.
Get a good thing going, man. First, a little vodka that would give them a high.
I'm sorry. Dick Bohrer is just that dumb. Vodka does not get people high.
No. Keep reading. This is crazy.
And then we were going to color that with crack and hook 'em good. They would have eaten out of our hands to get more.
I was wrong.
Which families, we would have made amends. But
I
no,
was
little
joking.
ninth
Yeah.
grade had to.
When
I
said-
figured your joke would not. But okay, I guess you know what? Once again, I've been proven wrong. I gave him the credit to think that maybe he'd think crack was a little beyond the pale for talking about to children. But I guess here we are. Once again, I've been made a fool of by Dickolas.
I was joking when I said that Kate put in the vodka, but someone else put something else in there. Like
You said crack. You said crack.
You did. You did say crack.
It's a book written in the 90s. Of course, it's going to be crack.
Wow. Old Dickolas.
And Julius brings up a good point. Again, how would they seek it out if they didn't know what they were drugged with to begin with?
Do you believe that these individuals were considering their plan? Do you think they thought that through? At all?
I have a question.
Yes.
And I don't know. Well, let me just ask it. Do you think Dick Bohrer pictured Eddie as black? He plays basketball, he raps, and he deals crack.
Dick Bohrer,
I'll
go
be
home
honest.
and
I'll be
don't
honest.
and don't come back until you fix this.
I'll be honest. I do not think so. And the reason why I don't think so is because like one thing that I've been sort of like thinking as I'm reading is I don't think that Dick Bohrer is, and like I'm a black person. I don't think that Dick Bohrer is like any more racist than like the average person in the 90s, and the reason why is because with how on the nose he is. If Eddie had been black, I believe he would have made it like a little bit more explicit.
Yeah,
It's like
that's fair. See, that was my core reason for thinking. I still think you said he's not as racist, or he's about as racist as any other random person in the 90s, which ain't great, but I feel like Dick Bohrer probably hasn't ever met a person of color.
Maybe.
When he's writing, he thinks of everyone as default white.
Yeah, like I don't think it's
more like a passive racism rather than an active like I think this guy, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's almost to the point where I think if like a black person said, "Hey, can you make this more?" I think he would have. I don't think that Eddie was supposed to be black, and I think this is the basketball thing is just because like it's sports are like a heavy part of the narrative. They're playing sports, which is a pretty basis like pickup.
Yeah, that's basically anything. Yeah,
game and,
it
like,
just seems it seems a little suspicious because he's rapping.
I mean, that was a point where I'm like a little bit. I don't think so.
That's where I'm kind of like knife edge right there.
And
Yeah,
this is
But
how
I think you're probably right.
And this is how you accidentally code someone to be black. This is how.
Yeah, I think he would have. I think he would have been more explicit to that, and like it was like if this book had come out today, I would say maybe, but like the reason why it is explicitly crack is because like that's why the reason why I made the remark about it being instead of cocaine I said crack specifically is because this book was written in the 80s and published in the 90s, and like so the time that it was written would have been like if it was crack was like a big thing people talked about. Like people talked about crack in the 80s the way people talk about like fentanyl today. So like it makes sense that would be what it was in question.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and as CKD said in the chat, he called out a black basketball student in one of his books, so if he has no problem spotlighting race, for Luna's probably right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's probable. I'm also just skimming the early chapters to see if I see anything. I don't see any mention of it, so
I think if it did turn out to be, it would be like I don't think it would be on purpose, just because I feel like it would have been more, considering how like this dude is like super open with what like he doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, I would say I'm more likely. I think it's much more likely that if there is anything racist going on, it would be by accident rather than on purpose. I don't think. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
He gave me a karate chop on the back of my neck and threw me down. I was barely conscious of a heavy weight dropping on me, one of the other guys. I blacked out. I don't know
No, I'm kidding.
I don't know how long I was unconscious. I came to moaning. I heard, "Oh Lord, I heard." I lay there. I could feel grass. Yeah, that's you're touching grass speed run. If you let yourself get knocked out, you awake in grass. That's how you can touch grass really fast.
That's true. That is true. When people say to go touch grass, that's what they mean. Go get beat up so that you'll be left on the grass and you'll wake up there. Quickest way to do it.
I could taste blood. A lot of blood. I tried to bring my hands up to touch my face, but I couldn't. I clenched and unclenched my fists to see if my arms were broken. They weren't, but they hurt. And my right shoulder hurt. I had a splitting headache. I tried to move my feet, but I couldn't. I slowly realized I was taped up. My hands at my waist and my ankles taped together.
Wait, no, at the waist? That's a stupid place to tie people.
Tied by his sides.
Hands at my waist.
Like his arms are tied by his sides.
Yeah, I think it's like his arms are taped, but his hands are down at his waist.
Yeah.
Based on where they've taped his arms up. Yeah.
I could hear crowd sounds and the sound cars make when they drive in gravel. I went unconscious again.
Why didn't you? I don't understand why Dick Bohrer is like he said like earlier. He said, "I yelled the noise you yell when your mouth is taped shut." Why didn't he say, I yelled a muffled yell. My yell was muffled. Or in this case, I heard the sound of a dog far away. I heard a dog barking.
What I want to know.
Why doesn't he say the sound cars make when they drive in gravel? I heard the sound of tires on gravel.
What I want to know is what is Eddie and the gang's game plan? As in, like, I mean,
they're just leaving him here for now so they can bury him later.
No, that's not what I mean. That's not what.
That's what I'm hoping for.
What I'm saying, no, that's not what I don't mean. As in what they're going to do. I mean after they've killed Beanie. Because here's the thing: if a student went missing, right, and prior to going missing, that student had been running for their life from like a crowd of other boys. Like, do they think that no one's going to investigate them, or are they just kind of banking on them like nobody caring about this child?
They'll pin that crimes on anyone else besides the actual culprit.
I mean,
yeah, fair enough.
The thing is, having this happen to him multiple times is the reason why they're going to pass a law that makes kidnapping illegal.
Call it Beanie's Law.
Yeah, Beanie's Law. That's sad as hell.
It's almost as sad as Bucky's. Sorry, go on.
It's gonna be named after him, but not his real name. Not Millie's Law, the Bean Law.
Yeah, Beanie's Law.
It's what he would have wanted. It stands for something.
I like that we're saying what he would have wanted. Like, he's just been kidnapped. He's not dead.
Let's be real here.
Yet. We just want it in our hearts and minds so badly. We're manifesting it.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
I came to and moaned and then went out again. I heard the sound of a dog far away, as if he was crying at the moon. The next time I came to, I heard the crackle of a walkie-talkie and felt someone gently turning me over. I heard Becky's voice. I went out again.
I think they're gonna pick someone and pin it on them. It'll just be that they'll pick someone at random, but with Eddie, but due to divine intervention, the person they pick on at random will be Eddie.
Yeah.
Just, they get it right by accident.
It's like the one parable, the one story where it's like, okay, everyone gets a slip of paper. If you have the slip of paper that has a splotch of ink on it, you are being killed.
What if
What
Bean
parable?
Bean
No,
is
not
all
parable.
tied up?
I meant story. I don't remember the exact story.
Oh, the
title.
lottery.
Yeah,
The lottery, yes.
The lottery, yeah. What if Bean's dead, right? And so then they dust him for fingerprints and find a full set of matching fingerprints on his hands, and they go, Bean did it, and then it's a suicide. Dang. Rest in peace, bud. I didn't know you were going through that.
You know, it's actually hard to get fingerprints post-mortem.
Off a hand?
Post-mortem, yeah, because your fingerprints are
That's
basically
true,
a stamp.
actually,
Your fingerprints aren't, like, they don't come from, like,
the oil. The oil in your skin.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's good that they got the fingerprints right as he was dying. They could have saved him, but they were busy looking for the culprit.
I'm sorry, this murder case is like the first thing we gotta worry about. Sorry, Bean.
Yeah, the doctors are like, Sir, I know you're a police officer. Can you please let me get in there? I really need to... Sir, please. And the cop is like, back off, I'm doing my job.
You can't tamper with the evidence, and since it's a kidnapping, the person is the evidence.
Yeah, the person is the evidence.
That's how Dick used to be back in Nick Bohrer day before the invention of, like, the photograph.
Yeah. Well,
I was lying on my back, and I felt being lifted. I could see a light going on and off. I felt as if I was surrounded by loving people.
Oh my god, he's going to heaven!
Oh shit!
My angels are here for me.
Fucking finally!
Right, okay.
The kid's going through enough, he needs this.
People who cared about me and wanted to help me. I started to cry.
Yeah, the idea of people liking Bean is just a little moving to him. I get it.
Bean's guardian angel shows up late with Starbucks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm off. Oof.
Oh, traffic. Oh.
A man put his hand on my shoulder and leaned his face close to mine.
We're here, Bean. Just relax. You've been beaten up pretty bad, but you'll be okay. Just relax. No.
Wait, John, have you voiced a character yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, sorry. I'll let you do the next round.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
You could be the nurse.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Hello, nurse.
I felt the van moving. Someone put a cool cloth across my forehead. I felt comforting fingers tousling my hair.
No, they decided to keep the tape on because it looks like it matched his clothes.
This is a guy. This person who saved him. He's like a transfer officer from like a completely different town, and you can tell he's from a completely different town because he's treating Bean with empathy.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't load him into an ambulance. They loaded him into a van. But fine. This is still better than nothing.
With America's healthcare system, they're trying to save his family some money.
Yeah. I mean, in Bean's hometown, they would have just hitched him to the back and just dragged him to the hospital.
It's like, hey kid, I hope you like skiing, water skiing.
Yeah. They just tie his shoelaces around the little hitch on the back, and they're like, all right, here we go. Worst part, insurance is still making him pay for it.
Hey, the EMT is like, hey man, we wanted truck nuts, but we
Truck Bean.
I felt a rush of love for whoever it was that found me and was taking care of me. I felt the sharp prick of a needle. I was getting a shot. And then a warm feeling of peace seemed to lift me and soothe me.
Oh, so that's why they wanted to deal drugs.
Must be Canada.
I came to in the emergency room of a hospital. They wheeled me in, and nurses with baggy dresses and hats were walking around me. A man was standing nearby. I could tell by the sound of his voice that he was the one who rescued me. He came up beside the table I was on.
Is it a man?
Is it?
It's the same guy as before who said you'll be okay, just relax.
I've added Bob. Aw, they euthanized him.
Yeah, well.
Thank you, CKD. That was amazing.
You're going to be fine, Bean.
But I'm going to miss the game. I started to cry again. I couldn't stop it. I was so disappointed. I don't want to miss our game.
That is kind of sad.
It's cause like this man who saved his life, the girls' volleyball team, these are the only people who have been nice to him. And like his mom, he's like, if I miss the game, then they'll win without me. They'll realize they don't need me, and they won't want to be around me anymore.
How's he doing, nurse?
He asked the lady.
Most of these are welts and bruises, Tony. Tony.
Surprise Tony at the end of the story.
Mr.
Not the first time this has happened.
His shoulder is sprained, but it's not broken. We'll put his right arm in a sling. His nose isn't broken. It just bled a lot. His teeth will be fine.
They
By the way,
bones is some amateur kidnappers back in my day.
I tried
you
to
gotta finish the job. You can't just leave him out on the lawn.
By the way, I tried to do that Hello Nurse voice because he said Hello Nurse.
No, well, I got it. Oh, sorry. Any chance I could take him back to the game?
My face lit up. I know it did.
Well, he doesn't look very nice. But if he can
He
walk
didn't
with those...
before, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, well, problem solved there.
He also wasn't very nice, but that's a different thing.
But if he can walk with those crutches, do you mind getting them, Tony? Then maybe he could go.
Oh boy. And then I started in again with the tears. These folks were so thoughtful and so nice. It really got to me.
What did they inject him with?
Ecstasy. Liquid ecstasy. Now you might ask, what is that? How does that work? And I say, I don't know. I've never done ecstasy.
Someone puts it like the ecstasy. Someone puts the ecstasy like stamp in a blender and just injects that.
Yeah, it's like really powdery and it's like
yeah.
It's like
and you inject the powder directly into the vein with a syringe like it's a liquid.
No, you mix it with like you like put it in like a water bottle and you shake it up
and then
Wait, do you inject the entire water bottle?
Yeah, the whole thing. 12 ounces right into the veins. You don't even go slow. It's like
oh god, like in fucking Always Sunny episode where they played Charlie McDennis, but they had to inject it in the vein.
Oh man, Charlie McDennis is such a good episode.
No, I'm talking about the second one.
Well, I don't think I saw the second one.
Oh shit! Well, as an anti-cheating countermeasure, they for a few rounds they inject it into their veins, and losers when they drink, they just squeeze the bag.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Okay,
whose line is this?
Tony is Mr. Scruggs.
Oh, is Mr. Scruggs through with the paperwork?
Tony asked the nurse.
Want to see? He's put the cashier. Just imagine
a
Palpatine.
Hospital cashier? There's a cashier at the hospital. What? There's a... Okay.
Yeah, the hospital cashier. Well, I mean, how do you think you pay?
Yeah, they'll ring you up at the front. Mr. Scruggs, I didn't know this is fucking Bean. I'm still stuck on there's a hospital.
Holy shit! Is Dick Bohrer being Dick Base again?
Yeah.
Speaking on the fucking commodification of healthcare in the U.S.
Well, maybe it's more like it costs so little and so casual, the hospital environment, that you just go to the cashier.
Remembers the American healthcare system before, the insurance companies got their grubby little hands all over it,
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Mr. Scruggs.
If you can't pay, they make you die in the back.
I didn't know he was here, I said.
He drove over as soon as he got word. Now, if you'll try these crutches, we'll see whether you can get back to your game.
I guess Tony and the nurse switch voices for like a
Oh,
split second.
was that the nurse?
No, it's fine. I love the visual of hello nurse.
I mean, he was the one who got the crutches. That's why I was.
Yeah.
No, I just love the visual of like hello nurse, and then the voice of Sylvester Stallone or some shit. I don't know.
No.
She held them out to me, and I put them under my armpits. I leaned down, but my right shoulder hurt too much. I can't use this one, but I think I could work with just the other one.
Well, let's see.
I took a few steps using the one crutch. Even if it had hurt, I wouldn't have said.
Yeah,
I had to get back to our game, but it didn't hurt any more than it should. I was limping, but I could make it. This is Mr.
Scruggs.
Which one? I don't believe it, Bean. I tried to make it there so I could turn you into Darth Vader, but some guy named Tony beat me to it.
I looked up. Mr. Scruggs was standing in the doorway. He came toward me with his hands out to give me a warm welcome.
And finish the job.
Don't touch him!
The nurse said quickly.
He's a mass of aches and pains. Treat him nice and gentle. Hey, boy.
There was a tear in his voice.
You had us really worried. Who beat you up? As if I didn't know. What the fuck is that? What the fuck does that mean?
It's like he already knows who did it, which makes me wonder why you let it happen.
Well, we know why he let it happen, but he needs to ask Bean who did it, because if he slips up and like says the name of the person, then he'll be incriminated. But so he's
That's
trying to
true. You're right.
So he's being like,
right.
"Oh, it was. I know it was Eddie because
Yeah, he's
Bean
Emperor
told me."
Palpatine. Yeah, exactly.
He's covering his bases.
Eddie.
Might have known. Wait here,
I'll
I'll
have-
talk to the officer in the lobby.
I'll have to give him that letter of recommendations for Kentucky University, after all.
Don't take...
You will lynch Eddie now.
Don't take long. We've got to get back for the game.
Sorry, which one is...
I won't be long.
I won't be long.
Well, why don't you practice using your crutch, Bean?
Tony said. How can I thank you guys for finding me and bringing me in? I was crying again and Tony pointed to the cashier. Oh, sorry.
You can thank us with $200.
Why do I cry like this? I knew I had to grow up and get hold of myself. But these guys had given me back my life. I loved them. What did they give you, me?
Like, just because you're crying doesn't mean you need to grow up.
He's
It's
a sad boy.
I mean, he nearly
it's
died.
an overwhelming, very
this is-
overwhelming situation. It's
Honestly, if they
completely
hadn't brought you in, it would have been incredibly evil of them. But I just want to say, it's really interesting to me that Dick Bohrer hasn't used this opportunity to be like, well, hasn't yet used this opportunity to be like, God saved me. You guys were brought here by God. Thank you, Jesus. Like, he hasn't said thank you to God yet, which I kind of appreciate. He's thanking the people who actually saved him.
I mean, he'll get there, but I'd argue
He'll get there. I'm certain he'll get there.
Although I would argue that the thing that, like, reading ahead, the thing that he does thank God for, it's not like it's something that you could argue a person would think is divine intervention.
Okay. Oh, it's in my line. Oh. Hey, boy.
My
You know,
boy.
like
Tony put his arms around me and held me.
You were beaten to a pulp. It's normal for you to cry. That's part of the healing process. Huh,
You could beat someone to a pulp but not break any bones. This is amateur work. Kids these days.
yeah.
And then he looked me up and down.
And you don't need to thank us. That's what rescue teams are for. Besides, we didn't find you. The police dog found you. I don't know how, but he did. Your girlfriend, Becky something, called the police when she saw some guys carrying you off. Yeah, okay.
Oh,
So she
okay.
saw it happen right in front of her. Okay, great.
What was she going
She
to do?
did something. Yeah, no, I'm not saying she should have done anything else. She called the police, but I don't know, followed them.
I mean,
It's just-
you're like, you are.
Well, they did get in. Did they get into a car? Right, they loaded him into a van or something.
Yeah, and also like it's a bunch of like guys who dragged a person away after duct taping them, and you're like one girl who's like good at volleyball, but like athletically wise, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and she's got a game to win.
No, not even that. It's just like you are going to get overpowered, and now there's
Yeah,
no
but also
witness-
she's got a game to win.
Yeah,
Like, I could save Bean. I could do something.
If I truly loved him, I would win the game for him instead of prioritizing his life.
in
Yeah.
his memory.
I know. Yeah, I know what. Dedicating this one to Bean. She grabs a microphone from the announcer and is like, "Earlier tonight, my boyfriend was kidnapped in front of me. But I'm dedicating this game to him. I love you, babe. Way to go, babe." And then she wins the game. She was with the police when the dog found you. She identified you. She wanted to come back to the hospital, but Mr. Scruggs told her she should go in and play the game.
I was right.
I don't know why that's Mr. Scruggs' call, but he told her to tell the girls you'd be all right.
Well, here's the thing. One key character trait of Beanpole is he's very quick. He's very quick to like form a negative opinion of people, right? But the other thing about Bean is if you have not done anything negative to him, like if you're just slightly nice to Bean, like he's like, yeah, this person's really cool and I trust them, as long as you don't like do anything screw that. And Mr. Scruggs, I said this before, Mr. Scruggs is taking advantage of the fact that like Bean wants someone to like him. He does not care about Bean or his well-being. He never has and never will. To him, Bean is just a dime a dozen.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow, Mr. Scruggs came back.
Trucks came back. Wow.
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
Ready, I said, smiling. And Tony? I had to bite my lips. Thanks again.
Hey, I'm coming with you. I wouldn't miss this for the world.
What, the doctor's gonna watch
You
the volleyball
almost
game?
died. You can't be left
His
alone
shift
right now.
just ended. His shift just ended. So
You were my
he's
last
now-
patient.
You're my last patient for the day. So
Might as well see what this volleyball is all about.
yeah, what is this volleyball you speak of?
But that
What was Becky thinking in this moment? Read Sink at Betty to find out. Now and
Find out, yeah.
They got me into the car with Mr. Scruggs. He drove, and Tony drove his van. Yeah, apparently they really did get Bean to the hospital in Tony's private van.
Tony's van, yeah.
we need to make
Back seats are drenched in blood.
We need to make tracks. The game started by now.
Mr. Scruggs said. He had me tell him what had happened, what Eddie had said, and what I remembered about the beating. He said a bus had broken down across the exit and there was no way for Eddie to get his van out of the parking lot at the time he would have wanted to get away. He figured that was why they dumped me in the bushes there on the school campus. He said they probably never would have found me if it hadn't been for that.
Okay. So he's about to thank God for that. And I get why he's thanking God and Jesus and all that for that. But if I were Eddie, and I was already planning on doing this heinous crime to this kid, and we'd already kidnapped him in public, in front of witnesses, and loaded him into my car, but nobody was coming after me, I'd probably just wait till the exit cleared up and then go.
I mean, he didn't. That's part of the divine intervention.
No, I'm saying, like, the bus breaks down, and Eddie's sitting there with Bean in the back of his van, or car, or whatever. Yeah, his van. Bean's not going to talk. He's taped up and unconscious.
But here's my thing, like...
They'll just wait.
Yes.
They're going to have to move the bus out of the way.
Yeah.
At some point. At which point I'll leave.
I mean, it's the fact that, like, Bean knows what he looks like, so it's like, I don't know.
Oh, I'm assuming we're killing Bean. I'm assuming he's going 6 feet under and they'll never find him again.
I don't know. He still is, like, what, 15, 16 at the most? Like, you can't expect, like, he kidnapped him from, like, a public area with witnesses. Well, and, like, he took...
But what I'm saying is he said they probably never would have found me if it hadn't been for that. That implies that Bean is going to go permanently missing. Oh. That was apparently Eddie's plan. If that was Eddie's plan, stick to the plan.
I think
Don't just dump him.
I think maybe he was hoping that, like, nobody... I think maybe what he was hoping for was that nobody saw... Because, like, he already was impulsive. Like, if you're gonna kidnap somebody... You don't want to. Don't take this advice. If you're gonna kidnap somebody, you don't want to take somebody who is expected to be somewhere at a certain time. Like,
sure, you want to take them during their downtime.
Like, people are going to, like, he already was on a time crunch because Beanie is expected to be at the volleyball in, like, a few minutes, and they're going to notice that he's not there. So he was impulsive. Maybe he didn't expect them to win, so he didn't expect, like, them to have the full game. But, like, he's like, okay, shoot, I can't get away as quickly as possible. I need to dump Beanie off. Just kind of, maybe he was hoping that, like, he would be either, like, bleed out before they got there, or just be too scared to, like, tell anybody.
I don't know. I mean, I think Eddie's plan was just bad because he and the guys were waiting on the stairs.
Oh yeah, it's a bad plan. I'm not.
It's a horrible plan. The only contingency Eddie thought about, maybe, was that during the screaming of the fans, you wouldn't be able to hear Beanie scream. Yeah, every other part of the plan was poorly thought out, and then he dumps him in some bushes. This is...
Well, yeah, it's a bad plan. I'm not talking... The thought process I described wasn't like the thought process of, like, an intelligent person. This was probably Eddie's thought process.
I think Eddie could have done better. And frankly, I know I would have done better if I was killing Bean.
Adam brings up a good point. The teenage villains in the Beanpole verse are like the teenage villains in Stephen King novels. Or the first one in Zane's Cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the cheerleaders with their bus?
No, we're talking about the
speedy truck of cheerleaders.
Yeah, literally. No, he was talking about the one where, like, they were, like, chasing down this kid to murder him.
I mean, I think they're all bad plans.
We're gonna kill you because you get better grades than us. We had the spotlight until you came in.
It's not my fault. I'm smart and cool.
The entire concept of having the spotlight for having your good grades is already strange. Nobody got the spotlight in my school when I was in school for having good grades.
I mean, valedictorian?
That's not really a spotlight. That's just a position.
I mean,
you get that at the end of your graduation, not like all the time. It's not like people are keeping track. I don't know. Whatever.
I knew who had made sure that bus had broken down. Thank you, Lord Jesus.
I can't stop you from being kidnapped, but I can stop this one particular bus inconveniencing everyone else.
I mean, like, there is a girls' sports game going on. He was there to, like...
Yeah, God has to make the right team win.
Yeah, he was there for the sports game. Then he was like, shoot, Beanie. Hold on a sec. It's like, the way he feels about Beanie, it's kind of like, you ever have, like, maybe your mom's friend has, like, a kid that you don't really get along with too well, but like you don't dislike the kid, and so whenever she's like, okay, you got to play nice with him, you're like, okay, fine. It's kind of like that, you know. It's not that he likes Bean, but he's like, well, I mean, my dad likes him, so I guess I gotta.
God's dad likes Bean.
So I gotta.
Yeah.
I'll just.
I don't have
put
a
up-
lot of time. Is it okay? We
Just
can just
kind of like
power
Gene,
through.
like kind of like just
Yeah,
like
let's power
let
through,
stuff
let's power
left,
through.
kind
Okay.
of, like,
Let's go through.
place, and it's like, hey, dogs, go over here, and then he goes back to making sure they.
We're
win
going
the
through.
volleyball game.
We're continuing the story.
Well, Mr. Scruggs parked near the door, and so did Tony. And then they helped me get out and walk into the gym. You should have heard the yelling and screaming when everybody saw us. The voice on the loudspeaker said,
Bean Spencer, ladies and gentlemen.
I learned later he had announced I was missing and then that I had been found, beaten to a pulp. That's why everybody
He
in the
told everyone that on the speaker.
Yeah,
I mean,
during the
why-
game.
Why isn't the game starting? Yeah, sorry, one of our junior coaches has been kidnapped.
Way to
And
go,
I-
babe.
That's
I mean,
why.
I imagine that if someone got like kidnapped in front of like the school, like the game's gonna pause so the police can search and make sure that like nobody else is missing.
He would have wanted us to play, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have. That's the thing.
That's why everybody in that whole place stood up and yelled when we came in. Our team ran across the floor and mocked us. They were crying. Mr. Scruggs wouldn't let them touch me. But they were so happy I was there. They had been worried sick, they said. They just hadn't been able to concentrate on the game. I looked at the scoreboard. New Haven had won the first game 15-6, and the second game was already in progress, and the score was 10-4. New Haven's favor. Mr. Scruggs?
Oh, sorry. I'm looking back. Which
We
maybe they can pull out of this.
No, we got him just in time.
Sorry. We got here just in time, Bean.
Mr. Scruggs said to me after the girls had gone back onto the court.
Maybe they can pull out of this slump.
The crowd sensed the excitement. You should have heard the roar. New Haven served. The ball soared over the net. As Wilson took it in the backcourt, I shouted, "Go!" As her hands touched the ball. She lobbed it forward to Flory, and I shouted, "Go!" as she lifted it toward Ruby. Ruby slammed it into the floor, and I shouted, "Go!" as she did it. Our cheerleaders must have heard me, because they got the students and all our fans to shout, "Go, go, go!"
Go, go.
Go,
weird-
babe.
Each
If
time.
he said go, 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 that'd be cool. That would be more like a cheer. But he's saying go in time with them touching the ball. It's a little weird. Okay.
Each time our girls touched the ball, Becky rotated up to serve. And guess what? Surely you know by now, it was point, 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 point. Her eye was deadly for a 9th grader. She had power in her arms and she could put the ball in the exact spot she wanted. If she saw an opposing player move even slightly out of position or shift weight to the other foot, she'd put the ball right there. In 6 serves, she had tied the score. New Haven hadn't been able to field even one of them.
Jesus.
And when the ball did come back on the 7th serve, Anderson went on her knees to get it and missed. The ball went over to New Haven, but both girls were out of it. They served into the net. We got 1 point on our next serve and then 2 points on the 2 serves after that. Wilson took us to victory 15-10. Talk about noise. Those bleachers were getting a workout like they'd never had before.
Wow.
And guess who moved up to serve for our side? Ruby. It was Ruby all the way. She had 12 straight serves and not one of them was returned. It had never happened before in the history of volleyball.
That I can believe. I think they're just throwing the game because Bean survived.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true.
That's a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, team huddle, okay, New Haven. So we're definitely good enough to beat this team, but like, it would be really shitty of us to win now. What if Eddie comes out and he's like slow clapping and he's like, "This was my plan all along, to motivate the girls by beating you up, and it worked."
I thought you meant slow clapping, as in like everyone is surrounding Bean and like they're like lifting him up in the air so he can't leave, but then he realizes he can't get down because they're lifting up in the air.
Oh
and
man,
Eddie just
he's coming back for round 2. Time to finish the job.
Did you hear me? In the history. Talk about control. Talk about the dead eye. She had it all. She was feeling the pressure when she put her toe to the line to serve for the 13th point. The place went dead quiet. Even New Haven knew we were setting the world records in this game. Ruby took a deep breath and let it out. She took all the time she wanted. Nobody but nobody was rushing her. She lifted the ball in the air. It seemed to hang there, suspended. And then she gave it a swat and that sent it over the net with hardly an inch to spare. A New Haven girl tried to get her hands under it, but the ball shot off her hands and out of bounds behind her. 13. 2 more to go for a world record. Ruby was towing the line again and waiting when the New Haven coach called timeout. No way did he want a world record scored against his team. He wanted to do anything he could to get Ruby to think about each serve. Our girls wanted to go up to Ruby and encourage her, but they knew enough to let her alone. They didn't want to break her concentration. She just walked around the serving corner. She bounced the ball, she waited quietly. But our fans weren't waiting quietly. We had the band and the cheerleaders and the fight song and yells. I looked over at the team and saw that Grunt had come down out of the stands. He was talking to the girls. They were hugging him and holding his hands.
Don't fuck me on this, Grunt.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Scruggs saw my questioning look.
That boy.
I like this comment right here by disappointment. I have no idea what I joined, but I'm wheezing.
Oh, well, welcome.
It's very good. It's a very good. It's very great piece of children's Christian literature.
The unbeatable.
Also, I like the CKD comment. They clap like end of Evangelion.
Honestly, if we're judging,
Congratulations.
Volleyball Spy by like the standards of like normal books, it's a 5, maybe a 4, like 4 to 6, 6 if I'm being very, very nice. But if we judge this by the standard of like the average like Christian specifically targeted literature in the 90s, 8, maybe a 9. We're grading on a curve here.
Let's continue, I guess.
Yeah.
One thing I'm willing to give like Dick Bohrer credit on, and something I don't think that I'll get like proven horrifically wrong, is that while many of his characters aren't very developed, I have to say like the average female character is about as developed as the average male character, which isn't like a whole lot, but like at least the girls aren't all like cardboard cutouts.
That's true.
Guys. Does that make sense? Like he knows how to write. He writes women like people, which is like better than what I can say for like a lot of authors, especially in like this sort of genre.
Okay, let's continue this story. We're almost done. That boy's had a real change of heart. He wanted to come and apologize to the girls. I let him come. It was obvious they'd forgiven him.
No,
yes, thank you for letting me come.
Okay, John.
No.
Let's get it out one last time.
It was obvious they'd forgiven him. Where's Coach Stumpf? Is she here?
No, I put her on temporary leave. We'll be deciding on what to do about her later, even though it's been months, presumably.
I mean, there's a lot of... I mean, it's difficult to figure out what to do with Coach Stumpf, and the reason why is because Scruggs has sort of been enabling her and allowing her to do a lot of things, so he's got to figure out a way to, like, punish her in a way that doesn't leave him also in hot water.
How do you solve a problem like Mrs. Scrugg?
Time
No.
in. The
I mean,
girls
everyone
took
has
their
some advice.
places. The crowd quieted down. Ruby put her toe on the mark and took a deep breath. She must have inhaled grunt because she sent the ball that was singing over the net again like a cannonball.
What?
Wait, what's singing like a
I don't
cannonball?
understand. She must have inhaled grunt?
I mean, that's
Yes, it's absorb my power.
I think that was
God.
something that Miss Dumpf taught them to do to inhale grunt, so I don't know why Bean is saying that now.
Yeah, what?
It's something that I think it was something that was established in like the first screen that I wasn't there for.
Yes,
So
yes.
I don't know.
They inhaled Grunt's aura to gain his power.
Yeah, and I posted sometime I posted a meme with Snoop Dogg, and it was captioned with my face when I inhale some grunt.
Oh hell yes, I love it.
It's really sad you say that because he just gave up smoke. Like
What?
yesterday. Yeah,
No.
Snoop Dogg gave
Yeah,
up
he
smoke
did.
yesterday.
No.
Okay. The New Haven girls scattered, thinking the ball was going out of bounds. Point! It was inbounds by inches. The place went crazy. 14 straight points. It was unheard of. Now, could she do the impossible? Didn't you win 15-0 last game? So, why is 14,
That's true.
14 straight points something special? Because it's from one player, I guess?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. New
Then
Haven...
it seems like you're really trying you're trying to look for a world record.
New Haven called timeout again. Some of our girls sat on the floor, others lay out flat. Others walked around the court with all their fingers crossed. They didn't know the Lord, they didn't know anything about real player, but I was sure each one was asking God for help. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Ruby came over to where Mr. Scruggs and I were sitting.
A bean?
She said,
This one's for you.
And then she missed.
Yeah, I mean... that
Oh
would be
Lord, I prayed. I know it's just a game, but use it if you can. Use it to show these girls that it's not Zeus, it's you, the Lord God, who is in charge of miracles. Time in.
Did Zeus even help with sports? Was he invoked during the Olympics?
He was invoked earlier by Miss Stumpf.
I know, but I mean, like, would he even have... What I'm saying is, like, even if he wasn't, like, are sports, like,
Skirt had a
his
huff of
thing?
fluffy. Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Ruby put her toe on the mark, inhaled, exhaled, tossed, gave it a swat, and won the game. We were
Right.
delirious. Everybody, Sunny Hills, New Haven, the world, had been rooting for Ruby. Our teams formed over her. The New Haven team, everybody, there was hugging and laughing and crying.
Okay, so the New Haven team also wanted them to win. This no longer seems like a real game.
It's corruption at the highest
I mean,
level.
I think it's good sportsmanship to just give it up for they've had a tough enough night.
Yeah.
You gotta read this
By
next
the way,
line.
it doesn't matter, but it does not matter at all. But I still looked it up. If you're invoking an Olympian in a sports-related matter, you're not calling Zeus. You're calling Hermes. Like Zeus is like, I don't know. You can talk.
Yeah,
to
the
my
New
son,
Age
I
shit.
guess.
They don't know anything about history either.
It's like calling like Boggs when you want to play baseball real good.
This is what happens when you don't have a Greek mythology hyperfixation in 3rd grade.
Mm-hmm.
And hey man, guys don't cry. I'm too old to cry. Oh Lord, why am I crying? We
Pimps
won.
Don't cry.
We won. Our Sunny Hills volley toppers had won. And John,
Hooray.
I need
I
you
thought
to
they were the lady top.
Genau. I mean, yes. I want John to look into the book if it's the volley toppers or lady toppers at the end of.
Excellent question, and holy shit, he forgot the name of the team.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had a rough day. He's still got whatever drugs from like the hospital in his system, and he nearly died. So like,
No, I mean Dick Bohr, not Bean. I mean, Dick Bohrer
no.
got the name.
Both. Both have been
Guys.
hopped up on drugs since the book started. Let's kill this last chapter.
Yeah. 2 pages left. I gotta leave in a little bit, so let's power through.
Okay. You will never guess who had to eat the jalapeno pepper. Even that made the front pages of the newspapers. Our Sunny Hill story had caught the newspaper world by surprise, and practically everything we did made the headlines.
The newspaper world.
When I told the reporters they had made me late the 3rd time, they insisted on coming with me. Sure enough, Mrs. Finster had the pepper bottle out and the girls were shrieking with fun. Some of them thought I shouldn't have to eat it, but hey, I made the rule. I ate it all right, and wouldn't you know, it went down the wrong way. I coughed, whatever, and wheezed and coughed again. They all thought it was hilarious. And the next day I was on the front page, my face looking all screwed up like a prune, surrounded by laughing girls. The caption read...
That was a picture that was taken while they were beating him up.
The caption read, "Injured Sunny Hills mascot / manager eats jalapeno victory pepper."
That's a bad headline.
Yeah, that's a really bad headline.
The story told about my getting beaten up and how I was found and all. We never saw Eddie or his friends on campus again. Well, we had a train of honking cars and buses across the hills of our state that night as our whole team escorted us our whole town escorted us home.
Huh.
And when we got back to the high school, we had a rally that wouldn't stop. It was songs and yells and speeches and stories. Mr. Scruggs had his 2nd championship. You never saw a happier guy. And Kimberly was there holding hands with Grunt. She'd been sharply scolded for what she'd done, and her parents had been called into the office. Mr. Scruggs had really landed on her, but no charges were filed. Oh, I know this is gonna piss Matt off that no charges were filed.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, against Kimberly, all Kimberly did was...
Yeah.
Kimberly was complacent. She put the vodka in herself.
I mean, yeah, but like, I guess it's like, yeah, it's vodka. Someone tried to kidnap and murder a student.
Yeah,
so
but I think
guy,
Kimberly put the drugs into Bean's locker, so...
Oh, okay.
I'm just waiting for Dick Bohrer to say, like, and then someone walked up to me and said, "You're the smartest man alive, Beanpole," and handed me a $100 bill, and that man was Albert Einstein.
Becky gave me back my sweater when she was introduced to everybody. She said she'd found it in the grass where Eddie and the guys had marched me off. They used it to give the police dog my scent. Isn't that just like the Lord? He'd put it in my head to take off my sweater as we were leaving the cafeteria so she would have something of mine to show the dog. Like the Bible says, we can cast our cares on him because he cares for us.
I don't know what that verse means, but okay.
Everybody was making a fuss over me, but I had just been doing my job. When Ruby was introduced, she said,
I want all of you to know that we girls got pretty jealous over there in Warrenton. There was some pretty redhead who flirted with our student manager. He liked her so much that he decided he wanted to become a redhead himself. So we gave him a jalapeno pepper to eat, and it did the trick.
Everybody laughed at the very funny joke.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ruby held up her hands to quiet everybody down.
But seriously, we would have never even made the championships, much less won the gold, if it hadn't been for God and someone else.
Oh, God.
Here she faltered. She had a tear in her voice.
We girls made a discovery over there in Warrenton.
She cleared her throat.
We discovered we weren't over there to win the gold. We already had the gold. We had Bean.
It's a good thing Bean wore his white pants.
The end.
The end.
Such a stupid way for the book to fucking end.
Fucking
Is this sort of like the sentiment. I know that the whole "we think positively about being" sentiment doesn't continue into book 4, the Night Watcher. So does something happen in book 3 that makes them suddenly like despise him, or?
It happens between book 2 and book 3. It's that everybody gets off the high of having won the championship, and then they remember what a dickhole he is.
Like I feel like the being as a my question is like, would that doesn't make. See, that doesn't make sense. The reason why it doesn't make sense to me is, so that makes sense if in like our world, like I've said before, a person acting the way Bean does, he's unusual, he's erratic, he's paranoid. In the real world, this would be a very frustrating person.
He's rude.
Yeah. But here's the thing: I don't know that Bean would have that it makes sense for Bean to be perceived that way when he's like in the world he's in, because it's like people get like it.
Well, I'll tell you exactly. I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's the Dick Bohrer is doing the thing. He's got, on one hand, Bean is right about everything, because of course he is, right? He's writing it from a Christian perspective. On the other hand, he's got a persecution complex. So he's like, of course Bean is being persecuted by the world for speaking the truth. It's like, it's just that. But in a child. A children's book.
I feel like a story could be rewritten. I feel like you could rewrite the story. I'm thinking.
There's definitely ways to fix the story.
Well, I don't know. It's the thing that it's considering. It's, I don't know. It's just the consideration of like, you know, it's like what, stepping out of the bit. If we like playing in the space of like, okay, this is a character who goes through those things in a world that allows those things to happen. What next? Like you need to have the characters, or like you have only one character is reacting in a normal way to the situation at hand, and I just think all of them should react to that way.
I think, again, like you said, stepping out of the bit. I think the way you would resolve this is you would not make the world a place where things like this can happen. Instead, it would be a world where the people who do bad things are more thoughtful about it. You would think more deeply about how they go about doing things, and Eddie's plan wouldn't be total dog shit. And so then you could have the same events happen for better reasons, and then you could make the story work.
Oh, I know. What I'm saying is that's something that you could do. What I'm saying is I am interested in the implications of like a world where like the main characters is crazy and deranged, but they live in a crazy and deranged world. Like off the top, like shows that do that off the top of my head is I'm thinking of like The Amazing World of Gumball in the later seasons, and like Boondocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently Eddie got away without any punishment.
No, yeah.
Well, we don't know that. I mean, we didn't see him at school anymore, but he could have been taken away by the cops. They did get it.
Dick Bohrer would have said so. To be honest,
Yeah,
but he said he wasn't able to. He said he wasn't able to get away, right? I thought.
I mean,
it was like the bus stopped him from leaving, and then he dumped Bean's body. But then, did they say what happened to him?
Another bus kind of crashed into him.
No!
All right, guys, I have to take off, but it's been fun.
Actually, yeah, I gotta take off soon too, as well.
You know the ending of Mean Girls? It's like that.
Yeah.
Except he doesn't survive.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
Mm.
Man,
well,
the hospital had a fucking cashier.
Yeah, of course it does.
Okay, I'm getting tired. So, do we do it at the outro, or should I just go?
Someone should do the outro.
Yeah, so since I pitched this project, thank you all for joining us on this amazing journey through one of Dicula's fine works.
Yes.
The chapters that I've been here for, I've had a lot of fun.
I'm sorry I couldn't have been here for more. I'm glad I got to be here at the end.
This kind of kind of stories where it's like sort of like deranged events happening right after the other in a way that only makes sense in like a dream logic sort of way are just kind of my favorite stories.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, so don't contact any of the authors we cover. Don't contact the Moody Bible Institute.
Don't use a Ouija board to talk to Dick Bohr's ghost.
Oh, he would hate that. Oh, he'd be so mad if you did.
I don't think he'd answer. I think he would just be angry at you. I don't think he would respond. I think he would treat you like when you get a phone call from someone you don't recognize. You know, he just lets it ring.
I can't believe Dick Bohr is screening my calls from the afterlife. What a jerk.
We have Tumblr and the Discord linked in the description. Also, we have a request form where you can request other bad media for us to cover. If it's something long like this, it has to be really good, but in the general sense, if it's under 5,000 words, you should be good to go.
Yeah, they'll still evaluate. It's not just everything that gets requested.
Yeah, the Calvinist ball thing is very funny. Post that where everyone else can see it.
Oh yeah.
Calvinist ball.
And remember, folkettes, and all those outside and in between, if you do not like, do not read.
Make us do it.
Bye.
Lights.